Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing James Woods' top 10 best movies. He's a phenomenal actor, and I believe he could outact any actor, past or present. Woods was nominated twice for an Academy Award for his roles in Salvador and Ghosts of Mississippi. Both are solid films, and Woods was worthy of the nominations. Woods was also offered the role of Mr. Orange in Reservoir Dogs, but his agent never told him about it. When Woods found out, he fired his agent immediately. There's a few movies I'd like to mention before we get started. Those films are Cop, True Believer, and Cat's Eye. I love that little horror anthology, Cat's Eye, and James Woods' story is so much fun. He plays a man trying to quit smoking, so he joins a place that will kind of help him to do so, but they better not find out you're started again, or else. Woo! Now time for the list, so sit back, relax, let the show begin. Number 10 is Bestseller. Released in 1987 and directed by John Flynn, this film is a bit of a chaotic mess, but I love it. It definitely helps if you grew up with the film. The editing is choppy and the ending is a bit laughable, but what saves the movie is James Woods. I love Brian Dennehy, but I find he comes off extremely clumsy in the film, while Woods takes control of every situation. Woods is hilariously demented in the film, and he has some great one-liners. I also love the music score by Jay Ferguson. It's not an easy one to recommend, but if you've seen it and liked it, then we'll have a good laugh while we point out the parts we love, and we'll laugh even harder when talking about the flaws. Number 9 is Against All Odds. Released in 1984 and directed by Taylor Hackford, who also directed another film I love, An Officer and a Gentleman. Against All Odds is a fun little hidden gem. It's probably best known for having the hit song Against All Odds by Phil Collins, but the music score by Michael Collenbeyer and Larry Carlton is top-notch as well. I always found it odd that Rachel Ward would get top billing over Jeff Bridges, but whatever. The cast is great in their respected roles. James Woods is more the co-star, but he doesn't miss a beat when it's his turn to shine. There's a great little car chase scene between Woods and Bridges that still holds up very well today. They're flying down Sunset Boulevard. It's a beautiful little shot. I love all the shots in LA and Mexico. Against All Odds is a childhood favorite of mine. Number 8 is Straight Talk. Released in 1992 and directed by Barnett Kellman. I love this little film. Of course, Dolly Parton is a world-famous singer-songwriter, but when I was a kid, I knew her as an actress first. From films like 9 to 5, Rhinestone, Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, and of course Straight Talk, my favorite of her films. Straight Talk wasn't a huge hit, and Dolly wouldn't act again until another 10 years later, which is a shame because she's a fantastic actress. James Woods also stars in this romantic comedy, and just like every other film he's done, he's perfect. The whole cast is excellent, many notable faces all doing great things with their part. I also love how they captured Chicago in this film. All around, Straight Talk is great. Number 7 is Diggstown. Released in 1992 and directed by Michael Ritchie. I love this film. It's so underrated. The cast is excellent, with Louis Gossett Jr., Bruce Dern, Oliver Platt, Heather Graham, and of course James Woods leading the way. The filming locations in Montana are perfect. Fun fact, the jail used at the beginning of the film is the same one used in Fast Walking, another James Woods film that I like, but it didn't make the list. Well, at least I got to mention it here now. Diggstown is just a fun and entertaining flick that bombed at the box office. There was a ton of sports films released in 1992, and I feel Diggstown kind of got lost in the shuffle. Number 6, The Hard Way. Released in 1991 and directed by John Badham, this was a surprise box office hit. It's such a fun action comedy. The chemistry between Woods and Fox is nothing short of magic. Fox plays an actor preparing for his next role as a cop. He pulls some strings and is able to get some real first-hand experience. Fox gets partnered up with Woods, and that's when the real fun begins. Nobody plays an irritated character better than James Woods. And that's just what Fox does. He irritates the crap out of him. The Hard Way is so much fun. Number 5 is John Carpenter's Vampires. Released in 1998 and directed by John Carpenter, this is such a fun vampire film. My favorite director of all time teaming up with one of my favorite actors of all time is a real treat. The way Carpenter frames his shots makes vampires feel like an old-time western, and Carpenter's music score is amazing. Also, the practical effects are top-notch. The cast all around are very enjoyable. Woods kills it with his quick dialogue, and I love Thomas Ian Griffith as Valak. You might know him best as Terry Silver from Karate Kid or Cobra Kai. John Carpenter's Vampires is a blast. Number 4 is Videodrome. Released in 1983 and directed by David Cronenberg. Videodrome is such a fun, unique little movie. This film isn't for everyone, but I like how strange and absurd it is. The music by Howard Shore is top-notch, and the makeup effects by Rick Baker are excellent. With Cronenberg, I feel like a lot of his films are a hit or a miss, but in the 80s, that's where Cronenberg started to make his mark. Videodrome is a creative and fascinating movie, and James Woods delivers a great performance. Number 3 is The Boost. Released in 1988 and directed by Harold Becker, who also directed Woods in The Onion Field. What an unbelievable hidden gem this film is. James Woods pulls you into a roller coaster ride of emotion as he struggles with his addictions. The Boost is really effective in conveying the destruction that hard drugs can cause. No matter how much money you have or how famous you are, drugs over time will tear you apart. It's incredible to see Woods' performance as he struggles to keep things together, but ultimately, just like 99% of real users, it doesn't end well. If you haven't seen this film, I'd highly recommend it. Number 2 is Casino. Released in 1995 and directed by Martin Scorsese. I was just going to give this film an honorable mention because Woods has about 10 minutes worth of scenes in a 3-hour film. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized how important his role is to the film. And he nails every scene, whether it's him telling Sharon Stone's daughter to shut the hell up, or Woods screaming, "You couldn't do it yourself, you chicken shit cocksucker," after he gets beat up by De Niro's goons. It's all gold as far as I'm concerned. Casino is a masterpiece with a top-notch cast and setting. An amazingly well-written and well-executed film that never gets old. I still rewatch it a ton today, and I love every minute of it. James Woods and Sharon Stone also starred in The Specialist together in 1994. That film was just okay. Number 1 is Once Upon a Time in America. Released in 1984 and directed by Sergio Leone. This film for me is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. There will never be another film like it. It's a true epic masterpiece. It was an absolute shame that it got recut for American audiences upon its release. The original 4-hour version is the way you need to experience this film. When it was released in the US, recut, it bombed at the box office and wasn't even nominated for an Academy Award. How does Ennio Morricone not win an Oscar for Best Score? How does Sergio Leone not win for Best Director? How does Once Upon a Time in America not get nominated for Best Picture? It didn't take people long to realize that this picture was robbed of all its glory and that US cut should be destroyed. When most people and critics finally saw the 4-hour version, it was quickly revered as one of the greatest films of all time. You got that right. Anyway, so that's the list. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.